For the best under-18 players from around the world, this week has been about competing for this, the Hlinka Gretzky Cup.
Right, a one-timer, score! What a play!
For over 25 years, this tournament has been the launching pad for past, present, and future NHL superstars. And now the next generation takes to the ice representing their country and to honor the tradition of two of the game's greatest legacies.
Here's Gretzky. Score! There's the record.
The USA and Russia may not be in the final dance, but bronze is on the line at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. Next. Welcome to the Alberta capital. Team USA, Team Russia at the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup with the bronze medal on the line after 4 great days of action down to the final 4 teams, and the cup is in the building. For U.S. captain John Farinacci and his crew, it was a devastating, frustrating loss to Canada in the semifinals. Nicholas Robertson was so good in that game, scored 3 goals. They know they're going to have to rally as a team, set that frustration aside. They're going to have to try and stop this guy, Vasily Podkolzin of Team Russia, leading the tournament with 5 goals. These two teams met each other earlier in the week, a lopsided 8-3 win for Team Russia. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Edmonton. I'm Ryan Rishaug. You know, this is not the game that either the U.S. nor Russia wanted to be playing in, but they still have a chance to head home with the medal. When you consider neither team won a medal at last year's event, there's something to play for. Let's take a look at the semifinals on Friday and how they landed in this bronze medal game. Sweden, Russia in the earlier game of the day, third period, tied at 1. Final minute. Carl Henriksson, a clutch goal. Sweden with the upset 2-1 victory over Russia. And the later semifinal was the United States versus Canada, and it was a wild one. Pick it up in the third, tied at 4. Luke Toporowski, a clutch goal. That put the United States up 5-4. Then controversy, time ticking down, Dylan Cousins, but the replay shows the time had run out. The referees did not have the benefit of using that replay. They had to make the best call they could at the time, and they called it a goal. Elation for Canada. That sent it to overtime, and in overtime, Josh Williams, high slot, clutch, game-winning goal for Team Canada, an upset 6-5 victory, propelling them into the gold medal final, where they will take on Sweden. That game set to go at 9 o'clock Eastern Time tonight. But this afternoon, USA versus Russia with a bronze medal on the line. Time to head to the broadcast booth and join the men with the call now, Gord Miller and Craig Button.
Yeah, Ryan, that was a bitter, bitter loss for Team USA last night. Now you got to regroup less than a day later and play the team that beat you 8-3 on Wednesday. The good news for the U.S. is played a great game against Canada, led it 4 times and had some high-end skill.
Yeah, they really did, and just, you know, you consider how they rebounded from that call, and then they came out in the overtime. So if that's any indication of the resiliency, I think they're going to come out and be just fine. And you talk about the skill, Gord. I mean, Nicholas Robertson was lights out, brilliant. I mean, Aaron Hoagland with the lacrosse-type goal, but Nicholas Robertson, he ends up with the hat trick, and he was so good around the net and the ability to score and put the puck into the spots that he wanted to. He had a lot of dangerous moments throughout the game, and when you consider the quickness in which he plays, I mean, that's one of the areas that the U.S., not him, but everybody on that forward group, they really used it to their advantage to really back up the Canadian defense. That's what they're going to have to do here against the Russians in this bronze medal game.
Another player to keep an eye on is Robert Mastrosimone on right wing on the top line. He's got 3 goals in 4 games. Mitchell Miller has been their leader on defense. Derek Lahey will start in goal for the Americans. He was the losing goaltender on Wednesday, giving up all 8 goals against Russia. Meantime, for the Russians, you got to talk about Vasily Podkolzin, who was, again, brilliant last night.
Yeah, he was. And, you know, when the game gets into its hard moments, its challenging moments, those moments when you see you need somebody to rise up and take control of the game, Vasily Podkolzin is that player. He's their captain. He's their top offensive player. He's determined. He's skilled. And, I mean, this is late in the game, and he just decides, I'm going to take this end to end. It was a brilliant, brilliant play. And you thought for sure that Russia and Sweden were headed to overtime. it wasn't for any lack of effort or ability on the part of Podkolzin.
So Podkolzin leads the tournament in goal scoring. Oleg Zaitsev draws back into the lineup, did not play yesterday. He's going to Red Deer, the Western League, this coming season. Ilya Mironov on defense, plays a ton of minutes for them, and Askarov is back in goal for the Russians. So time to regroup today, and there's an old saying in the sport, doesn't matter if it's the playoffs, the regular season, or a tournament, way better to win your last game than to lose it. Ryan?
All right, gentlemen. Russia, the United States, a bronze medal on the line. You know, the United States very classy in that frustrating defeat to Canada. They'll look to regroup, get their heads straight, and try and take on a Russian team that handed them an 8-3 loss earlier in the week. The bronze medal game is coming up.
The 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup from Edmonton and Red Deer, Alberta is brought to you by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 30 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey team. And by TELUS. Stand with TELUS to bring good sportsmanship online. Together, we can end bullying.
Welcome back to Edmonton, the final day of the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup for under 18 players born in 2001 or later. Team USA will have Derek Malahy in goal for the Dexter School in Michigan. Previously at Shattuck St. Mary's. Eligible for the 2019 draft. He's heading to Harvard in the fall of 2020. And for the Russians, 16-year-old Yaroslav Askarov, born in 2002, eligible for the 2020 draft, played last year with a St. Petersburg under-16 team. He allowed 2 goals on 19 shots in the loss to Sweden in the semifinal. Vladimir Filatov, the head coach of the Russian team, and Corey Leyland, who has been tasked with the responsibility of trying to get his American team to bounce back after a bitterly disappointing loss in the semifinals last night to Canada. The captain, John Farinacci, takes the face-off at center ice. Farinacci was classy to the officials after the game, understood that there was not video review in play in this tournament, but still, the United States feels it should be playing in the later game tonight. Ilya Mironov, number 23, fires it down for the Russians, and Malahy is back to play it. The round-robin game on Wednesday was a crazy one. The Russians took a 3-0 lead in the first period. The Americans tied it at 3 in the second, where the Russians pulled away and won it 8-3. To finish the round-robin portion of the tournament at 3-0. Daniel Gudic works in now, and Gudic with a floating shot that's gloved by Malahy.
In that Wednesday game versus the U.S., Russia outshot the U.S. 21-3 in the first period to take that 3-0 lead, but USA came out in the second and found a way to tie it up. Then Russia took it over in the third period, but they really carried significant play, the Russians did in that game.
We welcome viewers on the NHL Network, as well as on TSN on this Saturday. And from the point, flipped in by Artemi Kniazin. And now battling down low is Chinnikov. Sends it back in front, and the pass just missing as he was trying to find Arseny Gritsuk.
Nice play by Chinnikov. Comes from behind the net. They win the face-off, and then they get to work, but from below the goal line, it whips under here, and Chinnikov whips from the blind side, and real good chance here for Gritsuk. Good save right off the bat by Malahy.
So for those of us who are tuning in for the first time, those of you tuning in for the first time, this is players born in 2001 or later eligible for the 2019 draft and beyond. Team USA has the National Team Development Program in Plymouth, Michigan. An under-18 team, under-17 team. The under-18 team competes in the spring under-18 tournament run by the IIHF. So this is not their National Team Development Program, but Liachov works in and shoots, and just missed high on Malahy. That team in the spring dominates for Team USA. These players are not part of the National Team Development Program. Canada, on the flip side, can't often send its top players to the spring tournament because they're playing in the junior hockey playoff.
There's that shot off the stick of Weber. Real nice play by Liachev. Liachev is a dangerous player. He finds himself in those good spots in the offensive zones and some very good scoring chances.
At the point, the puck is held by Baranov, shoots, and again that deflects over the glass and out. Most of these Russian players play for club teams back home who have under 17, under 18 teams. They will move next year, if they remain at home, into the MHL, the junior league in Russia. Summer coming to North America. We mentioned Oleg Zaitsev, who's taking the draw now, is heading to Red Deer in the Western League. He played for the Dynamo Moscow under 17s last year. He was the 17th overall pick in the CHL import draft. Luke Tomporowski flips it back in the corner. Tomporowski scored what appeared to be the go-ahead goal for Team USA last night. Until the late tying goal by Cousins. Goal comes in, and it goes up and out of play. Tomporowski's dad, Kerry Tomporowski, was a Western Hockey League terror back in the early 90s with the Spokane Chiefs. They won the Memorial Cup. And Luke is playing for Spokane now. Unlikely he'll amass 505 penalty minutes in a season like his dad did playing for the Chiefs.
He might not do it in his career, let alone a season.
He's a very skilled player.
Excellent skater. He's got some real good quickness and speed, and it's disruptive. He forces turnovers. And we see in the NHL, those types of players are really important to teams.
Sam Colangelo sends that wide. And Mancinelli took his man down along the boards. Here's Mancinelli with it. Michael Mancinelli, rather, from Madison. Now the United States Hockey League heading to BU in the fall of 2019. That shot flipped wide by Nikolaev. And Nikolaev gets a stick on it. The puck loose at center ice. And Nikita Sadov plays it back. Sadov also heading to the Western Hockey League. He'll play for Regina in the Western League along with Sergei Alamov from this team. They both played midget hockey in Denver last year and are both going to Regina.
Well, we've talked about the importance of trying to have some familiarity with another player when you're going to an entirely new league, an entirely new culture.
Right.
Just to have that support is so key. And I talked about John Paddock, who's the general manager and head coach with the Regina Pats. He was in Winnipeg, but they brought over a lot of Russians. So he had a first-hand knowledge of that. Just an excellent move when you're trying to get young players like that from another country acclimated.
Miazem sends it back in, but the play was offside at the American line. Referees are from the Canadian Hockey League. Referees are Mike Langen and Fraser Lawrence for this bronze medal game.
I didn't think that was offside, Gord. But it's okay. Move on.
And that pass over to Weber deflects into the American bench. Shots are 2-0 in favor of Russia here in the early going. The first time the tournament has been played outside of the Czech Republic of Slovakia is the Hlinka tournament. It began in 1991 as the Phoenix Cup, played in Japan. There was a later tournament in Mexico. It's called the World Cup Under 18, but this is the first time it's been held in North America. It'll alternate between Edmonton and Slovakia for the next 5 years. So next year will be in Bratislava and Prešov in the Czech Republic, which has been the traditional home of this tournament. Farinacci moved off the puck and it's brought up by Mikhail Abramov. Abramov slid that ahead, and Farinacci sends it right back down to the Russian zone. Trailing back is Bichkov, an icing call against the USA.
I find in these types of games, Gord, that it takes a little time for the teams to find their rhythm and get into it. You know, we mention it all the time. It's not the game they want to be playing in. But once they do find that competitive rhythm and the rhythm of their game, these games end up a lot of times being very, very good. And the competitive juices just take over for the players.
Got to think, Craig, the longer this goes close for Team USA, the better it is. Shilinov back to center ice. The puck picked up by Baranov. And now racing ahead is Oleg Zaitsev. Zaitsev chops that rink wide. And Farinacci plays it back down the Russian zone. Icing waved off as Zhukov goes back. Zhukov got bumped in the corner as Shilinov stepped into him. Zaitsev pokes it ahead. In comes Zaitsev, and Nick Robertson takes it away. A chance for a 2-on-1. As Robertson walks in, shoots, whistled that high and wide. A hat trick for Robertson last night against Canada. His first 3 goals of the tournament. And Dylan Davies goes back for it. Off to Michael Feenstra, the centering pass bounced off the stick of Arthur Kalia.
If you want to play in the National Hockey League, you have to be able, it's not just skating, you got to be able to make plays and think at that speed. Nick Robertson really showed that ability in the game versus Canada, and on that rush there, he's trying to shift and open up a defenseman to get a scoring chance.
Robertson ahead for Podkolzin. Podkolzin slides it up for Gudic. The centering pass just out of the reach of Nikolaev. Nikolaev shoots from a sharp angle. Malahi makes the save. Now back at the point. Mironov a shot. And Malahi got a piece of that as well. Slid back across. And here's Podkolzin. The tournament scoring leader flips it back. And that long shot by Sidov is gloved by Malahi. So the Russians had their way with things in the opening round of the tournament, outscoring their competition 18-5, and then ran dry against the Swedes. Really never threatened in that game until late in the third period. They had a lot of shots, but not many dangerous chances.
Yeah.
Then Podkolzin went coast to coast to score the tying goal late in the third. That puck trickles down to Malahi, kicks that away. Sidov with a shot that goes wide, picked up now by Gritsuk. Arsenij Gritsuk. Plays it back down to Spiridonov. Igor Spiridonov. Peels back in the corner, being watched by Judith. Spiridonov back with it. Goes off the stick of Toporowski, and Toporowski plays it back out. Toporowski's uncle Shane played in the NHL a little bit for Toronto. As the play is called at the American line.
Well, Vasily Podkolzin in this end-to-end rush. This is one of the few dangerous chances, and it was fantastic, but this is what they call a Russian bear hug. The excitement by the coaches.
Vladimir Filatov shaved the beard last night.
Yeah, when I looked and I'm going, geez, he looks different today, and it took me a second to realize that the beard's off.
So as mentioned, these players born in 2001 can play as late as the 2021 World Junior for the Russians. That's probably going to be their chance. Valeri Bragin, who's the head coach of their national junior team, rarely takes 18-year-old players to the tournament. You got to be really something to play for him as an 18-year-old. Was busting in his Gushin, and he was poke checked.
Well, we saw last year at the tournament, Andrei Svechnikov, a 17-year-old, played. Clint Costin, the first-round pick to the St. Louis Blues. And
Ivan Provorov played for him as an 18-year-old.
Yeah, but those two guys last year were pretty good, but it kind of spoke to the average.
Mancinelli winds in. Hughlin with a chance. A backhand shot goes high and wide. Aaron Hughlin scored a lacrosse-style goal last night in the game against Canada. As Colangelo comes in, and the poke check try by Askarov almost went off Colangelo and in. No score here in the opening period. The bronze medal game at the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup, powered by Ram.
Lots of other events going on around town, including the Summer Ice Jamboree at the Community Arena. Some novice age players from across Alberta actually put on teams to represent each of the 8 nations. And I don't know if SportsCenter's producers are watching. That needs to be in consideration for highlight of the night. A beauty from that young fella. Gord, lots of events happening around the city. This is more than just a hockey tournament this week here in Edmonton.
Yeah, been able to take in some of the other events. The Center Ice Summit here involving officials and coaches from the various nations. Coaching clinics and on-ice clinics as well. Gudic throws it back down the line, played out by Kester. Mike Kester throws it back down to the Russian zone. And Mironov's lead pass goes in behind Nikolaev, icing called against the Russians. 5-3 the shots on goal in favor of Russia.
So we talk about, you want to see what the NHL looks like in the future. Well, this young man's eligible for the 2031 draft, Gord. I already have him highly ranked.
Do you?
Yeah, I already have him highly ranked.
He's on Craigslist already?
Of the few players that I've seen in this age group, I can tell you he's very good.
Is he a 200-foot player, though?
They don't have to be 200-foot players at that age. They just have to be 60-foot players.
That's right. Good point by you.
Yeah.
Gudic shifts it right back down to the American zone. Malahi has to come up and play it, as Nikolaev was closing in quickly on him. Mironov plays it down to Gudic, and Gudic trying to chop that back. Weber takes it away from him. Plays it around for Luke Reed. High off the glass he goes. The puck skips behind Kalia, who plays for Hamilton in the Ontario League, a native of Delray Beach, Florida. You've got players from California, Florida, Iowa on this team. Kalia moves in. His shot was blocked, along with the usual 3Ms, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota. But American players are coming in larger numbers from a wider group of places. You've got Austin Matthews, obviously, from Arizona. Seth Jones from Texas. Shane Gostisbehere is from Florida. We'll see Jack Hughes go high in the NHL draft next year. Hughes is originally from Florida. That high shot knocked down by Malahi.
When we talk about the St. Louis effect, they had 5 first-round draft picks. And then they had another one this year, Brady Tkachuk, who was signed with the Ottawa Senators after some contemplation.
Spiridonov had that shot blocked, now picked up by Grzyk. Grzyk moves around Feenstra. And now Davies behind the goal, breaks up the play, but it's picked right back up by Grzyk. Sends it back, and here's Bichkov. His long shot goes wide. And Kniazev in, shoots short side. That's knocked down by Malahi. Good pressure now by the Russians. There's Chinahov trying to play that back. Grzyk feeds it back for Bichkov. Bichkov slides it back for Tavulin. And now Tavulin gets behind the back move. Wheels it behind the goal. Tavulin plays it back for Bichkov. His shot goes off the foot of Master Simone. Knocked down the line by Bichkov, trying to play it back ahead. Bichkov now lays it back in deep. And Feenstra swings back to pick it up. Silanov chips it back down to the Russian zone, and swinging back is Tavulin to pick it up. And now Abramov works in. Abramov centers it, and that pass knocked away by Toporowski. Picked back up by Gushin. He centers it, and the pass skipped away from Abramov, and the United States is back as Josh Grohl brings it out. It was Grohl who got in the forecheck to force that goal for Toporowski late in the game against Canada. As the lead pass finds Gushin. In comes Gushin. Shoots Simole. He gets a piece of that to knock it wide. Great chance for Malahi to come back from that loss in his only tournament start to Russia on Wednesday. Gave up 8 goals on 55 shots to Russia. And now from a sharp angle, Gushin works back in. Gushin throws it back in front. And Liachov couldn't get a stick on it. Vaschenko back down to the American zone, picked up by Luke Reed. And Reed comes steaming in. Reed drops it back for Colangelo, long shot, knocked away by Askarov. And Sinelli in behind the goal. Colangelo trying to dig it free. And knocked down by Hughley. Colangelo with the Americans changing. Works that to an open corner, and Sergei Alimov picks it up. A 5-man scrum for that puck. And the referee yelling, "Move it." To which you think a player might be tempted to yell back, "I'm trying." And here's Mironov with it.
I was joking. Players don't try to make mistakes either. You know, they're trying to do everything to make a good play, and mistakes happen. But it's not like they go out there with the intent to make a mistake.
Alimov works in and shoots him. Only he punches that away. The puck goes over the glass and out of play. The Russians out shooting the United States 8-4 here in the early going. No score here in the bronze medal game of the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup. So some innovations being used at this Hlinka Gretzky Cup.
The hand smart. Then we can pop it out. You contract and then you expand. Okay? Contract and then you expand.
Camera on the ice capturing that. There's clocks in the corner of 2 of the 4 corners. The NHL is trying this out to see if this might assist players and coaches. So these are the corners that face the benches. In addition, a rule adjustment they're trying here. When you're awarded a power play, you can select a side you want the face-off to start it in the offensive zone. The IIHF has made some rule changes this year as well. As the puck is brought in now by Kaliev. Kaliev throws it back to the side of the goal, and Naltner couldn't reach it. One of them is that if you knock the net off in your defensive zone, even accidentally, you can't change afterward. Brought back for Nikolaev. His shot blocked. And Podkolzin's long drive went off a skate. And he is for Podkolzin. Drops it off for Nikolaev. And Nikolaev feeds it back for Gudik. He's knocked off the puck. Robertson has it back, flips it high in the air and back to center ice. Mitchell Miller chops at that. And Kniazev sends it ahead for Gudik. In comes Gudik. Spins around in front, shoots. That goes wide, and now Daniel Gudik back with it. Finally runs headlong into Mike Kester in the defensive zone. Mitchell Miller from Sylvania, Ohio. Played last year in Detroit for the Honey Bake under-16 team, a legendary midget program in the Detroit area. Master Simone out across the top, trying to send that rink wide, picked off by Chinahov. Chinahov quickly ahead for Spiridonov. Spiridonov back in front, and it's broken up by Farinacci, the captain, coming back to break up that play.
Real nice play by Farinacci, who, as a centerman, has been very strong in all the areas of the game.
Silonov for Farinacci, chops down that pass, walks in, the goaltender down, the wraparound try, that's turned away. As Farinacci couldn't get a shot away. Farinacci tries to drop it back for Master Simone. And Luke Reed plays it back in the corner for Silonov. Ritzuk tries to chip that ahead, can't clear it out. Silonov back with it. Grant Silonov from Medina, Minnesota, peels back as the Americans are changing. Silonov throws it back in front. The pass is picked off by Gritsuk. He chips it out for Chinahov. And Chinahov lays it down. A skipping puck there, Malay. He had to be careful with that.
That one took a high bounce.
Feenstra comes in. He got crunched there by Chichahov. Now back forward is Baranov. Out to the line, that pass corralled by Gushin. And a penalty coming now to the United States. They throw that pass back. And now the Russians with the extra skater on the ice are going to the power play late in this first period. And Toporowski finally touches up, and play is finally called. So it's 6:01 to go here in the period. We'll get a late hit penalty called against the United States. And this is the new IHF rule that was adopted this year. Used to call it finishing your check. Now if the puck is gone and you hit a player late, they're going to call that a penalty.
You have to be engaging simultaneously, and you can see the puck is gone. That hit now is in the IIHF, and international play will not be tolerated. It will be penalized.
So essentially the rule means that you can only do it if you had no other option. So in that case, they would have said that Jackson Judding could have peeled off. If you're committed to the hit as the player delivers the puck, you can hit him. If not, they're going to call it a late hit. It's a major change. We saw it last week at the World Junior Showcase in Kamloops, and now this week at Hlinka Gretzky. Podkolzin swings it back across to Gudik. Gudik, a backhand shot lifted high by Nikolaev. Podkolzin back with it. Russia 5 for 21 on the power play in the tournament. Gudik. That pass goes off the stick of Silonov. And now Podkolzin shoots, and it's gloved by Malahi. Talking to some NHL and junior executives at the Center Ice Forum here about that late hit call and how it might change their game. It might be a while before that's adopted here. There's Podkolzin with the long wrist shot on Malahi. It is really a fundamental change because players have been coached for so long. Finish your check, finish your check. But it wasn't always part of the game. If you watch games in the 70s.
I know, talking to players, Hall of Fame players from the 70s, they said that creeped into the game somewhere after they were finished playing, and it always baffles them, like how that creeped into the game. And this one battleship, two battleship, whatever a half a second is, I like the rule.
Gretzky plays it back for Kniazev. The return pass. Walking right in and firing that wide is Chinahov. And now flip over the head of Sedov and back down the ice. 40 seconds to go in the Russian power play. Askarov sends it quickly ahead for Chinahov. Wraps it around as the Russians are changing Abramov. Kicking at it. Tavulin. Spins it back down to Lihachev. Centering pass, and that shot by Bichkov ramps up a stick and out of play. 20 seconds to go in the Russian power play. You got to think, though, the arrival of a player like Podkolzin, the 17-year-old, will be a welcome development for the Russian power play, the World Junior, which struggled last year. As Farinacci got a stick on that.
Yeah, we've talked about Farinacci being so good in all the areas of the game. There's another example of it. Face-offs.
Now walking off the boards, that quick shot by Gushin is knocked away by Malahi. 11-5, now 12-5. The shots on goal in favor of the Russians. 2 shots on goal in that power play as Judding steps back on the ice. Gushin loose behind the American goal. Flips it back for Tavulin. And across he goes. A hard shot by Bichkov, kicked away by Malahi. Bichkov again shoots. He fired that wide. And now Judding sends it in for Master Simoni, and that shot is kicked away by Askarov. As Lihachev plays it back down for the Russians. Feenstra. It's tied up in the corner. 3.5 to go here in the period. That pass picked off as jumping in was Amirov with it. And Lihachev rips it back in. Davies kicks at it. And now Feenstra back with it. Feenstra banks it around to Davies. Master Simoni. Battle for it ensues. Master Simoni trying to play it out. And finally does. He throws it ahead for Kaliev. Kaliev waits for teammates to arrive on the change. Wrists it down to the Russian zone. Picked up there by Robertson. He tried to center it. And Barenov picks it off for the Russians. Now Reed a long shot. And that's gloved by Askarov. Derek Malahi had to be careful here on the shoot-in by Chinahov. Whoa. Turned into a dandy glove save.
Well, Vasily Podkolzin, the Russia's best player, 5 goals in the tournament. He's on the ice, the puck's on his stick, he makes plays, he competes. It's a really good shot. I know, talking to a number of NHL scouts, they've been very impressed with Podkolzin and his potential.
Eligible for the 2019 draft. As are most of the players in this tournament. There are some late 2001 birth dates, players born after September 15th and through 2002. Now back at the point, helped by Weber. Cade Weber. He's it down to Kaliev. Got a long way to catch the goaltender Jesper Wallstedt for Sweden, who's a late 2002, not eligible for the draft until 2021. Now the Russians break it back in. That pass across by Podkolzin was broken up and brought back by Reed. In comes Luke Reed. Podkolzin on him. Forced the puck free for Nikolaev. And now back at center ice. Mancinelli has it back.
Luke Reed's lucky he didn't get a penalty because he tripped up Podkolzin. They nearly had a chance to go 2-on-1 the other way. The Russians did.
Russians had the only power play of the period. Chinahov works in. That shot was blocked by Kester. Now Mancinelli on it. Up for Miller. A little tap back by Huglin, almost went astray. Now picked up by Kniazev. The captain of the Russian under-17 team last year. Kniazev slots it in for Spiridonov. And Spiridonov tried to work that free. The Russians with a full complement of forwards today. Played with 11 yesterday against Sweden. Zaitsev was unavailable. as Colangelo works in. Sam Colangelo with a shot from a sharp angle, goes off the side of the goal. Colangelo back with it. Throws it back in front, picked away by Spiridonov, who throws it back to center right.
Easy here behind you. Good.
Cade Weber from Meadville, Pennsylvania. Played for the Pittsburgh Junior Penguins AAA team, coached by Mark Recchi there. Chipped across, in comes Abramov, walks right in. Abramov, backhand shot, and Mullane gets a stick on that to knock it away. Now Abramov in behind the goal for Liachov. The centering pass bounced back, great chance there. And the hard shot by Beachcomb turned away by Malahi. And Derek Malahi's having a strong afternoon so far on the U.S. goal. Shilinov taken down by Tabulin. Gushin plays it back to center. Abramov quickly after it. Mitchell Miller hustles back for Team USA. Miller, as time expires, steps away. 13-6 the shots for Russia after the opening 20 minutes.
Couple of chances late in the period. Nice touch pass by Likashov, and he frees Abramov, makes the move to the net, but just can't corral the puck. And here's the one, another good pass by Likashov. Good save by Mahe.
No score after one. Our first intermission is coming up. You're watching the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup, the bronze medal game from Edmonton on TSN and the NHL Network.
Playing hockey keeps me active.
Hockey brings out the best in me.
Hockey gave me the chance to be a role model for the next generation.
Hockey's all about family.
Hockey taught me leadership.
Hockey has taught us to never give up.
Hockey taught me resilience.
Hockey gave me
Hockey's just fun.
No score through 20 minutes of play between the United States and Russia in this bronze medal game at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. U.S. getting outshot 13-6 in the opening frame. Joined now by Josh Nodler of Team USA. Josh, one of the challenges for your team heading into this game was going to be to refocus and stay mentally tough. How do you think you guys managed at that in the first period?
Yeah, I know. It was a little tough last night coming off that loss, but there's nothing you can do about it. We just had to come back. I think we've done a good job refocusing. We've been pretty hard on the puck. I think we got to get to the net a little bit more, but overall I think we've done a pretty good job.
Earlier in the tournament, you took on this Russian team. They beat you 8-3. How different is your approach in this game tonight?
We just know that they're a tough team to play against. They move the puck really well. We just gotta keep going. We know, like I said, they're tough to play against. So not really a different approach. Just gotta stick to our system, stick to our game plan, and hopefully we can get some goals.
Thanks, Josh.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Josh Nodler tied for the lead in the tournament with 6 assists, one of many impressive players here at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. Craig Button will join us to discuss a few who have stood out to him after the break.
No scoring in the opening period. The shots on goal favored the Russians 13-6. As the team returned to the ice for the second period in the bronze medal game of the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup, the first incarnation of this version of the tournament, previously known as the Memory of Ivan Hlinka Cup. In memory of the great Czech player Ivan Hlinka, whose wife was here this week along with Wayne Gretzky to inaugurate this tournament. Later on today, Canada will take on Sweden in the gold medal game. Swedes beat the Russians 2-1 yesterday in a game that featured all 3 goals scored the last 5 minutes of the third period. The U.S. lost to Canada 6-5. The tying goal by Dylan Cousins scored after time had expired, but the call stood. And then Canada's Josh Williams scored the winner in overtime. So John Farinacci from Chatham, New Jersey has been charged with a responsibility as captain to try to regroup the U.S. team. These are such hard games to play. But there are a lot of scouts here. The scouting sections are jammed. Have been for the last couple of days. As Kester picks up a loose puck, the teams are 5-on-5 to start the second period. Master Simone walks in and shoots. And Farinacci from a sharp angle had that knocked away. Mike Kester from Chaska, Minnesota, throws that down. Simonov chips it behind the goal for Farinacci. Centered it. And Mastro Simone couldn't reach it. That pass picked off, and now Farinacci steals it right back. Farinacci in, shoots. Off a stick high and wide, and Farinacci's been terrific at both ends of the rink, disrupting plays.
He sure has been. And one of the things you're watching with these young players, and they move up to levels of competition. Here's a good example there with John Farinacci. He gets a real good chance. He's in great position defensively, intercepts the pass. You know, just learning to get the shot off a little bit quicker because the defenders are a little bit quicker. And
there's Montreal GM Marc Bergevin looking on. Not the only GM who's been here this week. A lot of them have been coming through. George McPhee, the GM of the Vegas Golden Knights, is here. Got to the Stanley Cup Finals expansion team and loaded with draft picks the next few years. Cody Glass and Nick Suzuki coming as first rounders along with Eric Brandstrom. As Nodler moves in, Josh Nodler from Oak Park, Michigan, centers it. And that pass skipped in behind Nicholas Robertson. Brought back by Nikolaev. Now Nikolaev comes sweeping in. And Cade Weber took that away. Weber, a 6'6", 195-pound defenseman. Played last year at the Rivers School.
This is the first time I've seen him was in the semifinal game, and he looks pretty mobile for a big man. Gordon passes the puck and competes.
Weber chips it ahead to center ice. Got by Kalaev.
And those players like Weber, you know, scouts are watching. I mean, there's not just the first round, there's 6 other rounds, and trying to mine the gems and the diamonds in the rough. That's a critical component of scouting and drafting.
Chinahoff chips it in. His shot was blocked by Reed. And quickly brought back by Judden for Toporowski. Luke Toporowski throws that in. Chinahoff goes back and rings it around. And finds Spiridonov. Out to center ice, picked up by Kniazev. Kniazev works in. He had Feenstra watching him. Kniazev centers it, picked off by Judden. And quickly ahead for Toporowski, could really fly. In comes Toporowski. That backhand shot goes off the stick of Tavulin into the corner. Kester sweeps it back down to the Russian zone where Yaroslav Askarov is back to pick it up. Askarov born in 2002, not eligible for the draft until 2020. So we likely won't see him until the 2022 World Junior for the Russians.
I'm really intrigued by Askarov because, as you pointed out, 7 goalies that have played 500 games or more that were right-catching goaltenders.
Yep. Just 5 in the NHL last year. There's Ross Mahoney on the right, the assistant general manager, chief scout for the Washington Capitals.
Daryl Baumgartner on the left.
Yeah.
What a thrill winning the Stanley Cup. You know, all those years, the top team, favorites going into the playoffs, and after last year when they lost to the Penguins, is their window closed? Well, the window wasn't closed.
They pried it back open.
Yep.
Think about the job that Mahoney and his scouting staff have done in Washington. After getting Ovechkin first overall.
Well, you know, they previous years making big trades at the deadline, thinking they're 1 player away or 2 players away, and this is exactly what they need. So now last summer, you know, they're not able to keep some of their players. They even have to trade a really good player in Marcus Johansson because of salary cap considerations.
Long shooting.
I think the ability, you know, I think that team became a team that said, you're our guys, get after it. I talked to Jay Beagle about that, and he said, yep, it was up to us.
Boy, fires have it knocked away.
Advantage.
You think about, you know, they got a goalie, Samsonov, coming. They drafted in 2015 as that shot is turned away by Askarov.
Well, the timing might be absolutely perfect.
And now walk in, Gudik with a chance, feeds it back across. What a save by Mulcahy. Point blank on Nikolaev. And a penalty coming. A hooking call will go against Team USA. And the Russians will go to the power play shortly after they nearly open the scoring.
What a pass by Gudik and a real good play by Nikolaev, but
Master Simone got a stick on him.
Yeah, well, that's the penalty, but Mulcahy, what a save with that right pad, getting right over that push just off the skate. Excellent play.
So Nikolaev will stay up with a face-off, but Cole's on the trigger man on the right side. And now Toporowski will have to take the draw. And the Russians control it. Gudik with a long shot, the deflected wide, and now Nikolaev picks it up in the corner. Nikolaev works back in front. Mulcahy stops that. Backdoor pass, and Podkolzin ripped that wide on the feed from Gudik. They had the guy they wanted right where they wanted him, and he pounded it wide. And now, another penalty coming. Toporowski took down Mironov. So the Russians are about to go 5-on-3 here. For 1 minute and 31 seconds, Toporowski will get it for the trip.
Toporowski trying to put some pressure on the penalty kill. Gets a stick in on the feet of Mironov. Takes him down. And then this is the chance by Podkolzin. Kind of gets a little bit back on the heel of his stick. Not perfectly in his wheelhouse.
So 5-on-3 now for the Russians. They take Podkolzin off. Abramov will step in with the face-off. Wins it cleanly. Back to Gushin. Gushin across for Beachkov, who loves to shoot it. Beachkov down to Abramov. Gushin. Beachkov, Gushin, and shoots. He whistled that short side. Liachov. Back to Beachkov. Takes the return pass. Wasn't where he wanted to shoot it. And now Gushin back with it. Feeds it back to Beachkov. Now he winds and shoots. Mulcahy makes the save, and the rebound sent back down the ice. And still not going to stick on that. In come the Russians again, 4 wide. Brought in now by Abramov. Sends it back across. That's pounded wide the other side by Gushin. Loose puck still in front. They score! Liachov on the rebound. Russia leads 1-0 and will still have time on the power play.
Well, it's interesting. The Russians had some great chances, and then the puck just kind of squirts out to Liachov to the right of Mulcahy. He's got the whole net to work with. Some great chances. They catch him on a line change. And this is where the first real good chance comes across, shoots it over the net, and then as the puck skips off the leg of Mitch Miller of the U.S. right there, oh, not Miller, on Farinacci, excuse me.
So Liachov, who's heading to Gatineau in the Quebec League, had a goal and 3 assists against the United States in the round-robin game. And now still in the power play for 1 minute. 3 shots on goal in that 5-on-3, and here they come again. So a chance to break things open here. Nikolaev with Podkolzin, who's back out there. Mironov feeds it back across to Gudik. Gudik crossing goes to Podkolzin. Couldn't handle that pass from Nikolaev. And now Podkolzin works his way in. Swings the rink wide for Gudik. Gudik back across. Podkolzin scores! Didn't miss that time. Power play goal, 2-0 Team USA.
Podkolzin makes a backhand pass across to Gudik. His ability to open up lanes by moving his hands to take defenders out of their position and opening up the lane. As he comes down here, you're going to see him on the back, and he just kind of opens it up across, and then he receives it, and he makes no mistake just jumping in behind Mike Kuster, the U.S. defenseman.
42 seconds apart of the goals. Podkolzin has scored in every game for the Russians. That's a tournament-leading 6th. So you've got to weigh it now. You're going to talk to Podkolzin. You've got to talk to the agent, see what his intentions are. but obviously a high-end goal scorer who might drop down in the draft a little bit if teams aren't sure if they can get him over.
Well, and that's it. You know, you got to get in there and do your due diligence.
Well, we saw Washington's Ross Mahoney there. The Capitals had a heck of a time getting Kuznetsov free from Russia. They finally did. That puck was screaming into the American bench. But 2 quick goals for Team Russia. Lahatchov and then Podkolzin. And they lead the bronze medal game 2-0 here in Edmonton.
Well, Russia ended up on the power play, and they took full advantage. Luke Toporowski took another penalty to put him down 2 men. They score on that one, and then right after, Podkolzin, the tournament's leading goal scorer, widens that goal-scoring lead by 1. And it's 2-0 here for Russia.
Americans only allowed 2 power play goals against in their first 3 games of the tournament. They gave up 3 to Canada, and now 2 today to the Russians in the medal round. And spinning and shooting that was Robertson. It flipped wide. And now we'll get a penalty as Nodler was knocked down. And defenseman Semyon Chizhakov will go off.
Well, USA gets an opportunity to respond on a power play of their own.
First power play of the game for Team USA.
There's the stick on the right leg of Nodler, right there, the skate.
That's pretty black letter law, as my friends in that profession like to say. So the Americans on the power play now. And a chance to get back in the game as Podkolzin picks it up and sends it down the ice. But Kolzin also kills penalties for the Russians.
He's an all situations player.
Away comes Kester. Played for the Chaska Hawks in Minnesota High School. US 4 for 20 in the power play. Russians have only been short-handed 14th time in 5 games. And now Podkolzin flips it back to center ice to Mironov, who's been a stalwart of the power play, the penalty kill for them. Mironov is a terrific young defenseman. Master Simone works in. And 6'3" at that. All the penalty killers on the right ice for the Russians are left-handed shots. Kester takes the return pass from Farinacci, shoots, and through the traffic, Askarov makes the stop.
Yaroslav Askarov plays with a lot of poise, settled in the net. We saw some of this yesterday, just getting himself, following the play with his eyes, the awareness. You're younger than just about every player here.
Right. So, of the 95 goaltenders who played in the league last year in the NHL, only 5 caught with their right hand. Robertson pulls it in. He was poke checked by Gushin. And away comes Daniel Gushin shorthanded. Gushin works in, gets loose, poke check there by Malahi. And picked up now by Nodler. Nodler's going to Michigan State in 2020. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. These guys know where they're going to college in 2020. Now a breakaway shorthanded for Gushin. Gushin works in, shoots him away. He makes the stop on that, so keep that in mind. Later on, the U.S. gets it close. A huge save there by Malahi on the short-handed breakaway by Gushin. Robertson winds in, sends it back in front of backhand shot. What a chance there for Kaliev. And the save made by Askarov. So great saves at both ends of the ring. 15 seconds left in the American power play.
Gushin, he's in short-handed, being chased by Nodler. Just doesn't open up Malahi enough. But then how about this play by Nick Robertson? Shifts, holds the puck, a little look off. He makes a very nice play to find Kaliev. He's a pretty good goal scorer. Kaliev had a very good rookie season for the OHL champions, Hamilton Bulldogs.
Scored 31 goals in 68 games for them as a rookie. And the puck gets by Reed and back down the ice. So the power play is over. 2 shots for Team USA. Remains 2-0 in favor of Russia. Wound in by Amirov. And Judin kicks that ahead. Picked up by Zaitsev. Oleg Zaitsev. Chips it ahead. In comes Zaitsev now. Zaitsev throws it back in front. That's tapped wide by Amirov. Zaitsev back at the point for Beachcom. Reed digging for it. Picked up by Alimov. Back across the Beachcom. Shoots. He makes the stop. Rebound loose in front. Cleaned up. And brought ahead by Toporowski. Beachcom swings back for it. Scored a power play goal against the United States in the round robin meeting. Beachcom has a big shot, not afraid to use it. And worked in by Podkolzin. Drops it back for Gooding. Finds Podkolzin loose behind the American net. He feeds it back at the point for Vaschenko. That long shot gloved by Malahi. And he'll hang on. 9:43 to go here in period number 2. Russia has a 2-0 lead with a pair of power play goals. So last night in the game against Canada, quite a lacrosse-style goal scored by Aaron Hughlin of Team USA. Let's take you back to another one scored. Sidney Crosby playing for Rimouski. Picked it up off the ice with the blade down, scooped it in. The Hughlin goal a little different. He kind of scooped it up and threw it in. Still a pretty nifty play.
It sure is.
I'm amazed how guys can press their stick down on the puck and let the Pavel Datsyuk does it. Looks like he's taking a drink of water.
You don't have, you don't have a lot of time to make that play. It's one thing to think about it, but you got to have the quickness to pull it off. And you know, we know that Sidney Crosby's a great player, but Hughlin made a nice play. I remember when Mike Legg first did it at the University of Michigan, it was like in every highlight. Now they talked about the ability for kids to look at video and emulate those types of things.
I don't know if you saw it, but they had a reunion in Michigan of the 1990, which championship was it? 98? No, earlier than that.
96. So was it the 98 team?
Well, Marty Turco was there, Brendan Morrison.
So that was the 96 team.
And Mike Legg.
That was
so they all did a shootout thing from the for the back blue line.
They all made it.
So with a goal stick, Turco scores through a small hole in the board. Then Brendan Morrison does it, and then Legg picks the puck off the ice, throws it down, and it goes in.
I know. Yeah, I saw that. That was unbelievable. Yeah, that was the 96 team. Marty Turco won 2 national championships, 1998. And I'll tell you what, they don't win it without his brilliance.
What position did he play?
Defense. He was a top 4 defenseman.
Rover. The old joke about Ron Hextall when he played in Brandon, he had 100 penalty minutes, 15 assists. You were a goalie, right?
That's amazing. Yeah, Marty just such a confident goaltender. Stayed there his entire I mean, you look at his wins record for goaltenders in NCAA history. You got to come in as a 4-year starter, and you better start winning 30 games right from year 1. I don't think that wins record will ever be broken by Marty Turco.
Mitch Miller plays on the center ice to John Farinacci. Farinacci moves it in. Farinacci played here in 2011 in the brick tournament for 10-year-olds. Become a huge destination for players that age over the years. Now brought in by Liachov, who has one of the Russian goals. Liachov turned away and played back down to Gushin. Beats it there for Beachcom. That shot whistled high and wide. And Tavulin back on it. Mitch Miller got tied up there by Liachov. Liachov will turn 17 in September. To mention having Gatineau in the Quebec League. Mastro Simone works in, shoots, pad save by Asgarov. Chichikov. Long pass in for Alimov, and the play is offside.
Mitchell Miller makes a little play looking up the ice, and he sees Mastro Simone going. He just flips it to him off the pad again. Nobody there for the rebound. A real smart play by Mitchell Miller. A lot of different ways to move the puck up the ice. Against Canada in the semifinal, he was a workhorse on the blue line. Seemed like he was never coming off the ice.
Now the long point shot deflects wide from Chichikov. 23-13 the shots on goal in favor of the Russians. That puck deflected out. The face-off will come outside.
The power play's been kind to Russia. 2 goals to account for the score here. The U.S. have had some chances, but not really anything that you would say have been sustained.
Robertson takes that return pass and moves ahead along with Kaliev. Kaliev walks it and shoots it back off a leg and picked back up by Podkolzin. Vasily Podkolzin. Up ahead for Nikolaev. Nikolaev works in. He got poke checked there by Feenstra. And Kaliev trying to work it free. Nikolaev. The centering pass knocked away from Gudik. And the center ice it goes to Josh Grohl from San Diego, California. In comes Grohl. Played for the Anaheim Junior Ducks. Now a wraparound try and thrown through the crease by Kaliev. Chinahoff works in, and that shot gloved by Malahi, and he'll hang on.
And there's a Gretzky effect.
Sure.
You know, Anaheim comes into the league, and
Robertson hit with the foot with that shot. Robertson from Northville, Michigan, plays for the Peterborough Petes in the Ontario League. Actually played his minor hockey, some of it in Toronto with the Red Wings midget organization. From Northville, Michigan, just outside Detroit. As Toporowski brings it ahead. During the lockout in 2013, Northville had some pretty good coaching. Mike Babcock lives there, coaching his kids' team. That'd be a trip, huh? Now brought in by Gretzky. A chance, shoots at the goalpost. Right off the pipe. And now back at the point is Spiridonov. He shoots and dribbles down to the side of the goal. Picked up by Gretzky. And Gretzky bumped there by Judy. And the puck loose in the corner for Kester. Out for Grohl, knocked back in by Spiridonov. Lead pass for Grohl. In comes Grohl with it, drops it off for Judding. That pass is picked off. Abramov back the other way. In comes Abramov with it. Mikhail Abramov sends it back door, and Weber got a stick on that with a long reach to knock it away.
Nice play by Weber, holding his position and being aware of where that play may end up going to.
Daniel Gushin works back in. Gushin heading for Muskegon in the United States Hockey League next year. Now Mancinelli works in. You talked about Svechnikov being drafted 2nd overall by Carolina. Did he not go to the USHL for a year?
He played at Muskegon.
Yeah.
He was top scoring player there.
Now Gushin tries to fly in the zone. The lead pass goes to Liachov. Rink wide he goes. The defenseman Dmitry Tavulin walks in. He's turned away by Malahi. The Russians up by 2. Almost made it 3 here. But the pipe got in the way. Well, this tournament has had several incarnations. The 2003 Junior World Cup. There's Sidney Crosby, who had 4 goals. Tyler Seguin in the 09 Hlinka tournament also scored 4 times. The pictures have been an absolute highlight this week, looking back to the archives of.
Well, even with some of the players like Chris Pronger showing him his picture.
Yeah.
Colin Frazier.
Paschenko plays it back across. Podkolzin couldn't get a shot away. Now Podkolzin back with it. Down to Gudic. Daniel Gudic. Under 4 to go here in the second period. Trying to swing free. Gudic. Plays it back around, and Weber pokes it over to Davies. Dylan Davies. Pass knocked down at center ice by Nikolaev. And now Podkolzin sends it in and heads off on a change.
We've talked about Podkolzin, but in the NHL, you have to be able to operate in tight spaces in traffic, spin, and make plays.
Penalty coming to Russians here.
Podkolzin does that.
If you ever want to read a great piece on the difference between Russian hockey and North America, Evgeny Kuznetsov did one for the Players Tribune about a year and a half ago, just talking about not that one's better or worse, but just the difference. Now Davies plays it ahead for Robertson. The extra skater's been on the ice for the U.S. for a while now as Robertson moves in. Robertson still with it, plays it back in the corner. Baranacci shoots off the side of the goal. And the Russians finally gain possession, and with 2:46 to go in the second period, Team USA is going to the power play as we'll get a hooking call against Daniel Gudic.
Yeah, he's got the leg, the stick, the arm. He's got just about every part of his body.
U.S. 0 for 1 on the power play and 2 shots on its first. Being outshot 25-13, down 2-0. Here's your chance. Bouncing puck back down to the American zone. Robertson goes back. The Americans play 4 forwards, 1 D-man on the power play. But racing back to poke that away was Rodion Amirov.
Yeah, you go back to that Kuznetsov article in the Players Tribune, and I remember reading it, I read it again, I thought it was fantastic, and still think it's fantastic.
Russians are taught to hold the puck, move east-west a lot. The NHL is north-south, give it, get it back.
And his love for the game, his passion for the game, just tremendous.
He's Washington's best player in the playoffs, you could argue. Robertson walks in, holds and fires, and the save made by Askarov.
How about this? How about I just don't argue with it?
Ovechkin was named the Conn Smythe Trophy as the playoff MVP. As Baranacci works in. Baranacci swings that back. The pass poked ahead by Podkolzin. And now Podkolzin sweeps it in. A short-handed chance now for Nikolaev. In comes Nikolaev and stopped there by Malahi. Nikolaev thought he got hooked from behind there by Master Simoni. Another good short-handed chance for the Russians, and here they come again. Nikolaev works in, and that time Baranacci comes back and knocks that away. Another good defensive play by Baranacci, but once again, the Americans give up a short-handed chance.
Podkolzin is brilliant. He's so smart. He's quick hands. His body's always in the right position.
Baranacci back for Master Simoni. Kester. Baranacci shoots. Leg in front of the rebound, knocked wide. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Final minute now of the period. And the puck deflected into the American bench. The faceoff will go back down to the Russian zone.
2 Russian chances, both set up by Podkolzin. He frees Nikolaev there, and then just off the boards intercepts the play and just puts the puck in perfect position. But there's John Baranacci again. A little tap, let him know he's there. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if that guy's not a top 20 draft pick, somebody's making a big mistake in the NHL draft in 2019. He might even be higher. He can play it any way you want, everywhere on the ice, score, kill penalties. He might have a little Datsuk in him. The quick hands, the brilliance of the mind.
Well then, One shot for Team USA in that power play. Remains 2-0 Russia late in the second period. Spiridonov chips it down in the American zone. Kester back to pick it up. And now Kester swings it ahead. Drops it off for Mastro Simone. Couldn't get a shot away. And now Weber the long shot, and Askarov got tangled up there with Kester from Team USA. Spiridonov winds his way through center ice. 3-on-2 now for the Russians. Spiridonov a long shot knocked away by Malahi. Now a loose puck on the side of the goal, and right at the horn. Ilya Nikolaev gets a chance. The Russians scored twice on the power play, once on a 5-on-3, once on a 5-on-4, less than a minute apart, and they take a 2-0 lead after 40 minutes of play. Our second intermission is coming up with Ryan Rishaug. You're watching the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup from Edmonton, the bronze medal game on TSN and NHL Network.
Season, more than 100 teams take to the ice with hopes of playing at Canada's National Female Midget Championship, the ESSO Cup. Premier marketing partner of Hockey Canada, Imperial Oil is proud to help the growth of women's hockey across Canada. Visit hockeycanada.ca/ESSO Cup.
Every year, players compete for a chance to play at Canada's National Midget Championship, the TELUS Cup. As the biggest fans of Canada's biggest game, TELUS is helping the hockey stars of today and tomorrow. Visit hockeycanada.ca/TELUS Cup.
40 minutes are in the books here in this bronze medal matchup between the United States and Russia. 2-0. Russia leads on a pair of second period power play goals. Joined now by Team USA defenseman Mike Kester. Mike, couple of power play goals for the Russians in that second period. I know that discipline is important, but maybe just talk about the importance of making sure you don't give that offense more opportunities in the third.
Yeah, we know the Russians are a good skilled team with a good power play, so we'll take a hard look at ourselves and just make sure that we're moving our feet and everything to keep away from the stick penalties, so.
I noticed late in that period you were way up in the play in front of the net at a certain point in time. Do you feel like you guys are going to need to get pretty aggressive here, down a couple of goals?
Yeah, I think right now we can stick with our plan, and if the defense see it, or we can make it an odd man situation, we can jump in. But for right now, we still got 20 minutes. One goal, we're back in it, so just keep picking at it, and then if we need to add more offense at the end of the period, we'll have to make that change. So.
What would it mean to you to be able to leave this tournament with a bronze medal?
It would mean everything. We're fighting for the end here. We want to leave with the medal. We don't want to leave with empty-handed. So, we're going to be bringing it hard this last 20 minutes.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Kester and Team USA with some work to get done here, trailing Russia 2-0 through 40 minutes of play. We got more of our second intermission on the way. It is a who's who of the hockey world here in Edmonton. George McPhee, general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights, and Marc Bergevin. Maybe a little summer wheeling and dealing happening. Who could they be talking about? Maybe a scoring winger, perhaps. Who knows? But that's the scene here in Edmonton this week at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. For the average North American hockey fan, they probably heard the name Ivan Hlinka, played a bit in the National Hockey League, and of course has a tournament in his namesake. But a lot of people might not understand just exactly how much he accomplished in the game, both on and off of the ice.
Before Jágr and Hasek, there was Hlinka. Ivan Hlinka, arguably the most important figure in Czech hockey. As a player, he helped Czechoslovakia win world titles in 1972, 1976, and 1977, Olympic bronze in 1972, and Olympic silver in 1976. He scored 132 goals in 256 international games. It was his performance at the 1976 Canada Cup where the rest of the hockey world learned about Hlinka. In a tournament that featured the likes of Phil Esposito and Guy Lafleur, it was Hlinka who was named top forward for the tournament. After scoring 347 goals in 544 games in the Czechoslovakian League, Hlinka, along with countryman Yuri Bubla, joined the Vancouver Canucks at the start of the 1981-82 NHL season. That spring, they would become the first Czech players to play in a Stanley Cup final. To this day, Hlinka co-holds the Canucks franchise record for points in a season by a rookie with 60. After 2 seasons in the NHL, Hlinka returned to Europe to finish his playing career. In the early 1990s, Hlinka joined the Czechoslovak and later Czech national team as head coach, leading them to a bronze medal at the 1992 Winter Olympics.
Ivan Hlinka was played in the National Hockey League and realizes that when your backs are up against the wall, you go with your best, and that's what Hlinka is attempting to do.
After a 3-year hiatus in the mid-1990s, Hlinka returned to the national team in 1997 and became a national hero by leading the Czech Republic to a gold medal at the 1998 Winter Olympics, the first involving NHL players.
Lavich gets loose. This could be the golden goal. It is!
He cemented his reputation when his team took home the gold medal at the 1999 IIHF World Championship.
It's been the gold or nothing for the Czech Republic. They've got it again.
After spending a year and a half in the NHL with the Pittsburgh Penguins, leading them to a surprising berth in the Eastern Conference Final in 2001, Hlinka returned to the Czech Republic to spend 1 year as general manager of the national team and 1 as head coach of Avangard Omsk of the Russian Super League. He was also inducted into the IIHF Hall of Fame in 2002. In a ceremony at the 2004 World Championship in Prague, Hlinka was chosen as the best Czech player in history. Tragically, just a few months later, Hlinka died in a car accident in the Czech Republic at the age of 54.
Well, a trophy in his namesake in conjunction with the great Wayne Gretzky will be handed out later tonight. For now, it's the bronze medal on the line. Russia leading the United States 2-0. Gordon Craig's analysis is on the way.
Russia strikes twice in the power play in that second period. Liachov, his third of the tournament, and Podkolzin with his tournament-leading 6th. They give the Russians the 2-0 lead. The shots were 15-8, and the power plays and the penalties were costly for Team USA.
Yeah, they certainly were. There's the great chance and the penalty, and then Luke Toporowski putting pressure on Mironov up ice. Well, a 2-man advantage really put the USA in peril. And what starts off as a real good opportunity isn't finished, but the puck kicks off of Farinacci's leg right to Liachov, and it's a wide open net, and then Podkolzin just unbelievable the way he shifts in behind Kester and makes no mistake about it. 2-0.
You know, you look at a player like Podkolzin, we've talked about this, before, that teams like the Washington Capitals have prospered with Russians that they've taken late in the first round. Alexander Semin and getting Kuznetsov and others. Here's the goals allowed. Power play goals allowed in the tournament. First 3 games, 2, but now 5 in the last 2 games. But in the case of Podkolzin, if a team with a Russian presence already were to get him, it's no secret that 5 of the most successful Russians together played together in Detroit. They were the Russian Tide.
Yep.
They had players to talk to. Their families could be close together.
Well, you think about, even if you think about a guy like Slava Kozlov, I mean, he's got Fetisov and Larionov there. Fedorov has that little bit of, Fedorov was a great player. He's got a little bit of a layer there. Konstantinov in that group. I mean, it just carries through.
Scotty Bowman had very strict rules on how he wanted the game to be played. And 13 of the 18 skaters were expected to follow them. the other 5 had a free pass.
Well, it's interesting to hear Scotty talk about it, how he let it evolve.
Yeah.
Let's just see how it goes. It went pretty well.
Now, Podkolzin got straightened up there by Farinacci. And that long shot taken by Gudik is gloved by Malahi. But Podkolzin, of course, can play in the KHL. He's got all kinds of options. And this is Podkolzin at the end of the second period. He sits on the bench. kind of gathers his thoughts, and then goes in as the captain. You know who else used to do that? Alexander Ovechkin.
Did he?
Yep.
And maybe he's emulating Ovechkin.
At the World Junior in Grand Forks in 2005, Ovechkin would stay on the bench and Zambonis would be out. And Ovechkin would remain on the bench for about 5 minutes and then go into the room. Gretzky works that wide. Nodler trying to work that free. Now a long shot by Kniazev, kicked away by Malahi.
Malahi's played very well.
They give him 8 and 55 shots at the round robin meeting. The Russians been very good here, beaten by a 5-on-3 goal and a power play goal that he couldn't do much about. Stopped a couple of short-handed breakaways. And now Feature goes back, and icing called against the Russians.
This is this save by Malahi. His lateral mobility, there's the one off the deflection, and that left pad just kicks right out. Here it is again from this view.
Malahi, as we mentioned, going to Harvard in 2020. Played at Shattuck St. Mary's 2 years ago, the prep school in Faribault, Minnesota.
You were talking about Scotty Bowman too, and with all the experience that Scotty's had in the game, you know, just fascinating for him to, you know, he's watching this Russian 5 penalty for puck over glass.
Yeah, that's Nikita Sedov who's going to go off, and so now the Americans get an early power play here in the third period. They've not done much with their power plays thus far.
And the Russians have done more damage not scoring by getting chances on the U.S. power play than chances that the U.S. have. No question about it.
U.S. 0 for 2 on the power play, just 3 shots on goal, and Corey Leyland trying to push all the buttons. Leyland was an 11th round pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins on the University of Minnesota. That shot powdered on goal by Master Simone is blocked by Askarov. Kester beats it down to Farinacci, works it and shoots a bit short side. Master Simone plays it back for Kester, moves it and shoots it again. Askarov fights that off. Farinacci back to Kester, lots of traffic. Kester shoots. Askarov makes the save through the screen of Grant Silanov.
I'm really impressed with Askarov.
You mentioned a 16-year-old.
So settled in the net, Gordy. You know, he's just economy of movement, following the play. He's not busy in there. Directs the puck out of harm's way.
He has excellent height.
Yeah, and well, we talk about that too, but that's so important, right? Like, I mean, you can play at that level and play really good, but if you don't have the requisite height.
Got to have the good tallness. 6'2". Miller plays it back to Roberts, and a hard shot. Askarov fights that off and knocks the rebound away. Loose puck picked up by Gushin, who's had some shorthanded chances here this afternoon. Takes that pass from Spiridonov. Poked away by Robertson, chips it back to center ice. And Spiridonov wheels it back down to the American zone. A minute to go in this power play, 2.5 gone in the third period. Later tonight, Canada takes on Sweden for the gold medal here. Canada's won 9 of the last 10 Hlinka tournament. The only country to break that run, Sweden, back in 2007. Miller to Robertson, works it and fires. He whistles that wide. Nodler plays it back to Miller. To Nodler. Again, lots of traffic. Nodler swings that rink wide. Robertson throws it back in front. Had a great chance there for Kaliev. Turned away again by Askarov. Now a centering pass. Kaliev again. That time his stick was lifted by Gushin, and the Russians clear it down the ice.
Askarov again. The U.S. have had some excellent chances on this power play, but Askarov has kept them off the score sheet.
Farinacci now works it in. Farinacci a wraparound try. That stopped. And now Farinacci, another chance, scores! Farinacci, power play goal with 2 seconds left in the man advantage, and the United States is back in it, down 2-1.
I guess if you stay with it long enough, some point in time you have to feel that you're going to get rewarded, and certainly for John Farinacci, who's had some good looks and some good opportunities, but this is off the entry. He receives that pass in full motion, then again, kind of kicks right to him in one motion. He gets that up over the right shoulder of Askarov. There it is. It just kicks to him, and he's ready for it. Makes no mistake about it.
That was the 7th shot of that power play for Team USA.
Team USA.
Here you go, down 2-1 early in the third. Remember, the Americans erased a 3-0 deficit against the Russians in the round-robin game. Tied up at 3 before the Russians pulled away with some power play goals to make it 8-3. So now some new life for Team USA, trying to bounce back from that devastating loss last night. Cade Weber down to Toporowski. Luke Toporowski plays it around for Josh Grohl. He turned 17 on Thursday. Oh, the high stick from Toporowski.
It's a high stick.
He's going to get his second minor penalty of the game. He was in the box for a Russian goal earlier.
Toporowski's trying to get under the stick of Mironov, but he's not able to do it, and then the stick comes right up underneath, and that's the high sticking penalty. He's trying to get underneath the stick and not able to do it. So after getting on the scoreboard, they're going to have to kill a penalty here.
Yeah, Russians are 2 for 3 on the power play. 7 shots total. 1 goal and a 5-on-3. And then 49 seconds later, again on the power play. Beachcomb is the trigger man back at the point. Matchup. Played back across for Gushin. And now Beachcomb able to hold the line. Back in the corner for Abramov. Abramov swings it back for Gushin. Gushin along a wrist shot. Malahi knocks that down. In the feet of Mitch Miller, and at the line, Beachcomb can't hold it this time. Beachcomb swings away from Nodler. Timullin. Rink wide for Abramov. Abramov swings it back for Gushin. And now Gushin swings it back to Mironov. Bouncing puck at the side of the goal, still loose, picked up, and away comes Josh Grohl, one-on-one with Mironov. Grohl comes steaming in, and Mironov sweeps that away. Mironov, a 2019 draft eligible. Where do you have him?
He's a first-round pick. As you pointed out earlier, he's big, he can stick. You know, having watched him last year at the World Under-17 Challenge, he wanted to try to be that defenseman that was everywhere all over the ice, but he's really settled down in his game, and good defender, moves the puck, plays on the power play.
Good. Now streaking in is Nikolaev. He was poke checked. And off the rebound, score! Fired home by guess who? Vasily Podkolzin. Another power play goal. He's filled the net here in Alberta.
Wow. He gets that pass and he gets pointed right to the net. And Malahi has no chance. I mean, this puck is buried quickly. The entry, and then as they try to clear it, Weber doesn't clear it. Gudic makes a real good play. And there it is. Gets his, oh, what a shot. There's not a lot of room there. Yep, 7 goals for the tournament now.
So he has established himself as a top candidate to be an early pick of the 2019 National Hockey League draft.
When you watch that, it's really important to point out what you say. You got to spend time, do the investigative work on Podkolzin with the agent, but when you see that type of skill, it's worth every effort to understand what his intentions are, because he could be a big-time player for NHL team.
Euclid put that wide, picked up by Sedon, and now played ahead for Gripsuk.
And unfortunate, so U.S. get back in the game by scoring on the power play, and then with Toporowski, even though it's an unintentional high stick, it really killed the momentum for them, and now being down 2 again makes the uphill battle just a little steeper.
Now Kukin has that pass picked off by Master Simone, so the Russians restore their 2-goal lead, and again, all 3 goals on the power play. That long shoot-in stopped there by Askarov on a skipping puck. He's got it. Vasily Podkolzin has 7 in 5 games against the best under-18 players in the world. Remember that name.
While Vasily Podkolzin has been brilliant through this tournament, not just scoring 7 goals, but in the manner in which he scored them, the end-to-end rush versus Sweden, and then this shot that gives Russia a 3-1 lead. There is very little space to put that puck in, and he finds it and buries it.
So last year, 77 players who played in the 2017 IIHWHockey Hlinka tournament were drafted. 19 of them were picked in the first round. Last year, just 37 Russians played in the NHL. 34 skaters, 3 goaltenders.
That's up. That's up a little bit.
It's up in recent years, but way down from, say, 20 years ago, when there were nearly 90 players from Russia playing in the NHL. Of course, the rise of the KHL is a part of that. The lack of a transfer agreement between the NHL and the Russian Federation makes it harder to get players over.
Yeah, and also you talk about the KHL, those are both factors. The KHL too, paying players.
Right.
You know, like the economics for a player to stay in the KHL and play are a lot different than it was 20 years ago. But you're right, I mean, tell you what, some of the best and most brilliant players in the NHL are Russia. They're right up there. We talked about Kuznetsov, Kucherov, and
Tarasenko, Andrei Vasilevsky, the goaltender.
Just Provorov. We talked about Ivan Provorov from Philadelphia.
Well, he, as that a hand pass is called. 11:54 to go here in the 3rd period, and just after 5 o'clock Mountain Time here in Edmonton. And the Canadian bus has arrived, as the Canadian players will take a run at what they hope is a gold medal as they take on Sweden on TSN2. Icing call against Team USA.
And we haven't even mentioned Malkin and Ovechkin.
Right.
I was lucky, Gord, like in Dallas, we had Sergei Zubov. I mean, just a brilliant defenseman.
Honestly, I've always felt he and Patrick Elias are the 2 most underrated players of their generation. Zubov was so good. When the Rangers won the Cup in '94, he was their leading scorer.
Only one other player in the history of the NHL led his team in scoring as a defenseman. That might be the greatest defenseman when they won the Stanley Cup, and the greatest defenseman, Bobby Orr.
Yeah, I mean, Zubov was so good.
I remember we had first got Zubov. Early in the season, Mike Modano said he was breaking through the middle of the ice, and he said, you know, you're going through the middle, you're open, you think, oh yeah, he's never going to get me the puck. He said the puck went right off his stick, and he went, oh boy. I never missed another pass from Zubov.
Now a centering pass, Spiridonov missed, and it's brought ahead by Robertson. Fires it down to the Russian zone.
He made a turnover in Game 4 of the 1999 playoffs in the 2nd round versus St. Louis. We were up 2-1, right up the ice, right up the middle. Pierre Turgeon intercepted it. Goal. Series is 2-2. After the game, Rick Wilson, longtime assistant coach in the NHL with the Dallas Stars, said, well, those good things Zuby got that out of his system. We won't have to worry about that for another 100 games. You're kind of like, it's 2-2 the series, and they were not even fussed about it.
After Simone tried to knock it down. And now the shot by Farinacci was blocked. Weber whacks at it. Shots are 32-21 in favor of the Russians. And you think about the great generation of Larionov, Fetisov, and those guys. We didn't really see them in their prime in the NHL. Fetisov was still a really good player into his mid-30s as the Americans iced the puck.
Larionov came over, like you said, not in his prime, and still had 600+ points in the NHL.
Larionov was practicing one day in San Jose. Kevin Constantine was the coach of the Sharks. They were doing a drill where you chip the puck in deep and then regrouped. And Igor came in and beat like 4 guys, and Constantine blew the whistle. No, Igor, dump it in. So they started again. Larionov beat a bunch of guys again. No, Igor, we're working on defensive positioning here. Larionov says, Kevin, best defense is I have the puck. Constantine just shook his head to the next group.
Yeah. Brilliant player. Igor was a brilliant player.
Master Simone. Trying to find Farinacci with that pass. It's broken up by Gudik and brought in by Podkolzin. We're going to see a ton of talent in the second game as well between Canada and Sweden. You would think, I think you said the first time they played maybe a dozen first-rounders between the two teams?
Yep. Absolutely. I'm not counting Lafreniere, Lucas Raymond,
right, so
Alexander Holtz.
Because those guys are in 2020. Yeah.
Justin Barron.
Just the next draft in 2019. Mironov plays that to the sideboards, past the midway point of the third period. Mironov plays it in deep.
It's unfortunate for Sweden. Albin Grove and Soderstrom, the very good Victor Soder defenseman, they're both unavailable because of injury. So it's one thing to have be short a couple of players. Canada's without Jacob Pelletier.
Yeah. Picked up by Kroll, who fires it back in. Toporowski spins back. Luke Toporowski centers it. Kroll with a chance there. His shot was blocked by Sidov. Interesting that Sidov and Sergei Alimov played together in Denver in midget hockey last year and are both going to play for Regina in the Western League, so they'll have some company. And now some pushing and shoving breaks out as Toporowski's in the middle of it. 8:34 to go here in period number 3. And Vasily Podkolzin has done it again. 7 goals in 5 games for Russia.
Well, this certainly wouldn't qualify as a good play by Luke Toporowski. Got to avoid the goaltender. He catches it. He kind of comes through there, and now he's going to serve 2 minutes. And we saw what happened on the previous penalty he took on the unintentional high stick. And with 8:34 left in the third period, you're down by 2. You don't want to have to expend minutes killing a penalty. And certainly if the Russians get another one, it's turn out the lights, the party's over, as Dandy Don Meredith used to say.
Third straight minor penalty taken by Toporowski in the game. And the Russian power play goes to work. Bichkov plays it back ahead. Now fired back down by Team USA. Bichkov from Yaroslavl, split last year between the under 17 team in Yaroslavl and their MHL team. The MHL was the junior league that Vladislav Tretiak really pushed to start to keep Russian players at home. It took a while to get its feet under it, but it's become more popular there and an important part now of the Russian development system. Each of the KHL teams has an MHL team. The centering pass knocked away by Mulcahy.
So you're still within the system with an opportunity to maybe play up if you need, as you point out, in the VHL, which is the minor league.
The second league. So what quite often happens with Russian 19-year-olds, they'll split time between the KHL, the VHL, and the MHL. They'll play for the big team, the minor league team, and the junior team all in 1 year.
And the Russian system is actually pretty good because they don't have to leave the organization that they're part of for the most part.
A lot of them play at home. Now, once they get really good, they wind up in St. Petersburg or Moscow. That shot whistled high and wide by Nikolaev. In the corner is Gudik. And now banked off the glass and down the ice by Jackson Judik. From Savage, Minnesota, he's headed to Colorado College in 2020. The Miners? What they are, the Colorado College Miners?
I think they're the Tigers.
The Tigers?
Tigers,
okay.
Yeah, the Colorado College Tigers.
shot. He whistled that wide.
That's in Colorado Springs, the home of USA Hockey headquarters.
And now another penalty coming with 6:28 to go as Toporowski steps out. Interference will be the call here. I think it's going to. That's going against Russia's Nikita Sidov.
Good play by Master Simone. He chips the puck behind Sidov, and that's interference. So now here's the U.S. now kill the penalty successfully. Now they have another opportunity to narrow the score by 1.
Team Russia penalty to number 2.
So Mitch Miller on the power play. 6.5 to go here in the period. U.S. kills one off by Russia. Now gets a chance to draw back within 1. Robertson across the middle. Long wrist shot that was tipped in front by Mancinelli. Wraparound try around the pen to score. Tapped home by Arthur Kaliev. And with 6:07 to go, the power play goal draws Team USA back within 1.
Kaliev really stayed with it. He had an opportunity, and then as Askarov was trying to corral the puck, Kaliev was able to poke it again. It is the first poke, and then he just gives it enough. Here it is coming from below the goal line. The first, and then he just nudges it on the backhand. A really good play. You'll see it here. Good 1-2. And as Askarov is trying to corral it, he's not able to get it cleanly, and just enough for Kaliev to get it between his legs.
So 4 goals, all 5 goals in the game scored in the power play. 1 of the 5 on 3, 4 of them 5 on 4. But Colton, who scored twice in the game, comes busting in, moves in, and scores! What a goal by Vasily Podkolzin! And he has become the dominant player at this under-18.
He just, I mean, outside the blue line, he's trying to get checked, and his hands are so strong on the puck that they just can't get the puck from him, and he's at the same time fully aware of where there might be an opening. So here he is in his own zone. He moves up through the middle of the ice, but here they are on his hands, but he's stronger, maneuvers the puck, and then just brilliance.
22 seconds after the United States scored to draw within 1, Podkolzin gets his hat-trick goal, his 8th in 5 games.
Team Russia goal.
Wow. Score of an end-to-end dash yesterday against Sweden to tie the game. And now Farinacci works says that's a crushing goal by the Russians to restore the 2-goal lead with 5.5 to go in the 3rd period.
Well, you know, Pavel Datsyuk was just a great player. But, you know, when you watch the hand strength and ability to maneuver the puck, those are some of the things that give you those glimpses of what Datsyuk used to do. And you couldn't get the puck from him.
Farinacci works back in. Podkolzin, 6'1", 185 pounds. As a 17-year-old, he has scored in every game in the tournament. Has 8 total. So Alexei Lafreniere is having a great tournament for Canada. A number of players have been real good. Luke Raymond for Sweden, we'll see him in the gold medal game later, has been great as well. But pretty tough to top what Podkolzin's done here.
Pretty impressive.
And now a penalty coming to the Russians again. It'll be Abramov who goes off. 4:35 to go here in the 3rd period. Vasily Podkolzin. Remember that name. You'll be hearing it quite likely for a long, long time. Referee wearing a camera with a microphone today, and here's a look and listen to some of what we've seen from it.
Three seconds. Team USA
And finally, the penalty to Russia's number 9, Mikhail Abramov.
What a nice addition with that camera. That Nate cam, the on-ice camera. It's just so many different opportunities to view the game. No pun intended, through a different lens.
Robertson centers it, goes through the feet of Kaliev. So the United States needs one here to draw within one. Then you start thinking about the goalie out as Robertson works in, holds, feeds it down. Mancinelli back at the point for Miller. Robertson back to Miller to Robertson. Nick Robertson swings back. And here's Miller back with it. 4 to go in the third period. Robertson winds in and shoots. That was blocked by Mironov and scooped up by Nikolaev. He'll feed it down to the American zone. Neither team won a medal at the Hlinka tournament a year ago as Baranacci works in. Drops it back for Kester. In comes Kester. Swings it back across for Master Simone to Baranacci. Kester. And Master Simone's shot was blocked, but that struck the knee of the Russian defender. And he is check that. It was Chistikov who blocked that. He limps off. He got pushed off the ice by Kaniyev. Now a centering pass. Another chance now on the power play. Master Simone was taken down, so the Americans are going to have a 5-on-3 for 28 seconds as Master Simone was slashed by Podkolzin.
Master Simone breaking to the open ice. He drew a penalty earlier on Seedorf that led to the last power play goal by the U.S. And now with a 5-on-3, here's the block shot. He takes that right off the knee, and then here's the penalty. Master Simone using his speed, and Podkolzin.
So the Russians have called timeout here. Now they'll draw it up. The Americans could diagram their 5-on-3. The Russians scored on one earlier.
28 seconds of a 5-on-3. Opportunity has presented itself to the U.S. They could really get on it early in the first 28 seconds.
Right. Now here's the question. There's 3:03 to go in the period. Would you think about getting the goalie out once the 5-on-3's over to be 6-on-4?
No, I do it right now.
Do it now?
I do it 6-on-3 to make sure you can outman them 2-1 everywhere.
So the goal.
I want to get a goal here in 28 seconds.
So Malahi remains in the American goal. Patrick Waugh did this once with like 8 to go in the third period for a 6-on-3, and they scored. Kester back across to Robertson. 20 seconds to go in the first penalty. Master Simone. Around for Baranacci. Back to Robertson. Kester with it now. Robertson works in, holds, feeds it down. Baranacci works it back in. And the stop made by Askarov. 5 seconds to go in the first penalty.
Askarov does such a good job of not opening up. He uses his size, he maintains his position. He doesn't allow Baranacci to be able to maneuver the puck into a better scoring position. He just closes him right down. It's really steady, calm goaltending by Askarov.
Baranacci wins the faceoff. Boy, he took a ton of late draws against Canada in the semifinal game. Robertson works in. Has Rubin, shoots, scores! And Robertson scores as the first penalty had expired. I believe this will be a 5-on-4 goal. And so the United States will be back 5-on-5. So that came just as the first penalty had ended.
What a maneuver here by Robertson to shift. They win the faceoff though, Baranacci. You have to win the faceoff there, and they keep it in the offensive zone. So even though the Russian player is coming out of the penalty box, he's not a factor in the play. But the shift here, Robertson gives a little fake and then moves He gets the defenseman, Vaschenko, right out of position. Can't get into the blocking lane, or the shooting lane rather, to block it with 2:32 left.
So 6 of the 7 goals in the game are on the power play. 2.5 to go here in the third period. If that goal had come just a couple of seconds earlier, the United States would still be on the power play for a minute and a half. Now we'll keep an eye on Malahi, the American goal, to see when he comes out. And Mancinelli plays it around. Got to think we'll see Robertson, Master Simone and company on the next shift, as Colangelo works it in. And Vaschenko, the defenseman, lost his stick. Vaschenko still doesn't have a stick. And Colangelo's got the loose puck, centers it. Hughlin plays it back for Reed. In comes Reed with a shot, bouncing puck. Picked up now by Nikolaev. The nervous one was there as Vaschenko was asking forward for a stick and couldn't get one. Puck pulls it. Up ahead for Nikolaev. Nikolaev spins in. Shoots, scores! Ilya Nikolaev gets loose, finds a sliver of room, and restores the Russians' 2-goal lead.
That is the dagger. Right there, right in that spot. Nikolaev just spins around. Gets into the zone, and then as he spins and turns, he holds the puck and finds it. Beats Malahi short side. Here's one spin around, and then as he turns back the other way between the legs, just staying right with the puck, staying strong on it, surrounded by U.S. players. I think the Russians know that that's a dagger as well.
The assist number 19, Vasily Podkolzin.
Now walking and firing is Arseny Gritsuk, who puts that wide. So a heartbreaking loss for the Americans last night in the semifinal. As Kalia came in, they bounced back, draw close to the Russians, scored twice in the power play in the second period, but in the end, a couple of 5-on-5 goals are the difference for the Russians.
Last minute of the play in the third period, brought to you by Apple Fitness Store.
The final minute now of the third period. And now sent down to the American zone as Malahi has gone to the bench for the extra skater, and the face-off will be back down to the Russian zone after the icing.
Nikolaev, as he enters the zone, watch here, you count the U.S. players, he's surrounded by 4, and he still finds a way to get the puck onto his stick and behind Malahi. Those are the ones on those types of goals when you go into your video sessions and the coach says, there was 4 of you around him. What were you each thinking?
So the Americans call timeout here. Getting set for the main event tonight, Canada against Sweden in the gold medal game. But this has been the Vasily Podkolzin show this afternoon.
Yeah, quickly getting in position behind Kester. And then this play with the puck coming, gets himself set, gets a look at it. Pinpoint shot, and then this is another end-to-end play by Podkolzin. I guess when you do it once, it's spectacular. When you do it a second time, it just becomes expected.
So Podkolzin with 8 goals to lead the tournament, twice as many as any other player. Now Kalia has that knocked away. Miller trying to hold the line and does. Time winding down here as Farinacci has it back. And that's batted off the glass by Spiridonov, who I'm going to guess has never played baseball, but did a pretty good job there.
The World Junior A Challenge, which is a tournament, it's going to be in Bonneville.
And now a chance on the post, score! 17 seconds left. And Nodder pokes it home. It's 5-4.
No quit in the USA. Find a way to get the loose puck, stay on it. Now they're looking for some seconds to go back on the clock. Good entry into the zone and staying on the puck, and again right into the middle of the ice, and you see Nodler just turn around Miller. That's blocked, but Nodler finds it, sweeps it around off the post.
So the puck crosses the line with 18-6. It's at 17-3 now.
Well, they very well can't go and use video review now.
No. So the net remains empty. Here they come again with a chance to tie it. Kaliev has it knocked away, kept alive with the line by Miller. Time winding down now. In the corner, moved down the ice by Knyazev. And they'll call that icing, even though Nikolaev was streaking in behind Robertson. So the face-off with 3 seconds to go. We'll be back in the Russian zone. That looked like Knyazev had won that race.
Well, Robertson stopped skating, and the officials are going to confer here, and I don't think there's any question that they're going to confer, and that face-off will not be in the Russian zone.
Because clearly, Nikolaev had the edge.
Always good, confer. I think they will come to the conclusion that it wasn't icing.
We will stay for the presentation of the bronze medal game, or the bronze medals rather, after this game is over.
So I was talking about the World Junior A Challenge, which is going to be at Bonneville, Alberta for the second time in 3 years. This Russian team, they participate in that tournament.
They bring a team with it.
So this is the team that would go and participate at the World Junior A Challenge, or the large portion of it.
Send your buddy over so we can abuse him. Hey, come and apologize.
Seven goals scored in the third period. The last 5 of them scored in less than 6 minutes. And the Russians will take the bronze medal here in Edmonton. The United States will be 4th.
At the outset of this game, Gord, you said you always want to try to finish it off by winning your last game.
It doesn't matter if it's the end of the regular season, you're out of the playoffs. Obviously, the playoffs matter, tournament. Win your last game if you can. The Russians do that as they take it 5-4. And so they'll capture a medal at the under-18 tournament. They were bronze medalists 2 years ago in 2016. This is a third bronze medal in 4 years. They won this tournament once when it was called the Pacific Cup back in 1995 as an under-18 event, but they have not won it under this format. Players will see each other again down the line. A number of them will face each other at the next level, the World Junior Championship, the NHL, and who knows, the World Championship, maybe in the Olympics if NHL players get back there.
Well, some of these players for the U.S. that play in the USHL could be at the World Junior A Challenge as well, because they take players from the USHL, and mostly made up of those players, if not all of them. So, you know, in December, may see some of these players return for more competition.
So Bud Colson, the captain, left the pile and shook hands with the officials. And waited for the American captain, John Baranacci.
Something about this makes me feel good. This really does.
The whole group is celebrating, but he's waiting for Baranacci to make sure he shakes his hand. Told that Bud Colson speaks English a little bit.
I know one thing, he speaks hockey pretty loudly.
And the executive director of the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, Al Coase.
So now the presentation of the bronze medals.
Would the following players from Team Russia please come forward to accept their Hlinka Gretzky Cup bronze medals? Goaltender number 1, Vladimir Sartikov. Goaltender
Start with the goaltender, Sartikov.
Askarov.
And Askarov.
Defenseman number 2,
his 30 American shots.
Number 3, Dmitry Tavilin. Number 4, Nikita Washenko.
Unlikely we would see any of these players at the World Junior, but you wonder if the Russians would look at Podkolzin.
Yes, you do.
Now, he's 17. Unusual. We've seen it occasionally, but he's that good here.
And he can play. He's not just a one-dimensional player either. He can kill penalties. He plays strong on the puck. And Valeri Bragin, he wants players that are hard on the puck, hard on the boards. Are not going to get pushed out of a game. And clearly, Podkolzin has those abilities. He'll test them. He'll test them at some events leading up to the World Junior.
Leah Chong, who scored a big goal this afternoon.
Number 13, Number 15, Emil Gushin.
That's it.
Number 16.
Nikolaev scored that big goal for the Russians late to restore the lead. And Podkolzin, who was just dominant here from start to finish.
Number 26.
We did an all-star game, a Hlinka tournament all-star game all time before the tournament started. Might have to make an adjustment and put Podkolzin on there now.
Vladimir Filatov, the head coach, will get his medal.
Assistant coach, Andrei Mironov. Assistant coach, Alexandra Evitsky. Assistant coach, Vladimir Popov. Team manager, Roman Vavid. Goaltending coach, Andrei Kalasov.
So the coaching staff gets their medals.
Sergei Fedotov. Physiotherapist, Dmitry Polyanchikov.
Now we see the Olympics, and coaches do not get medals at the Olympics.
Very true. At the in any sport.
Team doctor.
Always thought that was a little unfair. I think if you're a coach who's involved in the actual playing of the game, like deciding who plays on line, I think hockey coaches should get medals. I think volleyball coaches should get medals.
Soccer, basketball, yeah. Well, the team sports.
You're deciding who plays, who's in the game. Just what Viktor Tikhonov did. Took the third goalie's medal.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise?
And now the Russian national anthem.
Of the national anthem of Russia.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne national de la Russie.
Сашка не достал.
So another offensive outburst from Team Russia earns them a bronze medal here at the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup. The gold medal is on the way tonight. It'll be Canada-Sweden, but for now, it's Russia's moment.
The 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup from Edmonton and Red Deer, Alberta is brought to you by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 30 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey team. And by TELUS. Stand with TELUS to bring good sportsmanship online. Together, we can end bullying.
Well, nice celebration and a team photo for Team Russia. A bronze medal game victory over the United States. 5-4 the final score. Outshot them 35-30. Vasily Podkolzin absolutely dominant once again. A hat-trick game for the young Russian sniper. As you can see, Russia takes the bronze medal game, and tonight the big matchup between Canada and Sweden in the gold medal game. So go grab a quick bite of food, then come right back to your TV, because we have all the action for you. Sweden versus Canada, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Pacific Time on TSN2. Well, Team United States had some adversity to try and work their way through after a disappointing loss in the semifinals, but they showed well for themselves. A lot of class by the U.S. They didn't complain and they didn't go away in this game, but the Russians and their offense simply too much. Bronze medal winners here at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup.